All right, welcome to this week's Blender Challenge. Sorry about my croaky voice. If it goes all squeaky, it's because I've lost my voice this week. But this week we are aiming for a alien head. I want you to be able to, over the next couple of weeks, create pretty much any character quickly and easily. It's not going to be super photorealistic, but nobody that I know of has taken a photo of an alien anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We're going for fun, cartoony, and fast. So there's a couple of key techniques that we want to highlight with this. Let's start from a default cube. And we want to make sure that you can do subsurface modifiers. So Control and 2 or Control 3. I'm going to go Control 2 and right click and shade smooth. That is going to be the basic shape of our alien. If we press Tab, that's the button to the left of Q, you can see the individual vertices. Remember, the subdivision surface modifier automatically takes your simple geometry with just, I don't know, 8 vertices and smooths it into this sphere. So let's press Tab to get into edit mode. Pressing 1 lets us select vertices, pressing 2 lets us select edges, and pressing 3 lets us select faces. It's the same as clicking up here. Selecting faces means that you can grab with G, S for scale, or R for rotate, which I don't want to do, so I'm going to press cancel escape. All right, so that's the rough outline, but before I do anything else, I want a mirror modifier. So we get the spanner tab for modifiers. Let's add a modifier and a mirror modifier. By default, it mirrors everything in the x-axis. Why is that good? Because if you do something in one axis, it mirrors it in the other one. So I'm going to press escape to cancel it. All right, before we go any further, let's put some colors on. We have one material at the moment. Let's double click and change it to skin. I've never seen any alien that isn't green. That doesn't mean that I've seen a green alien. It just means that I haven't seen anything that's not green. Although that material has changed yet, I can't see it because I'm still on solid mode and I need to be on, I can never remember what this is called, material preview. There we go. Then if we shift A and add, we can add a cube. GY to pull it out, S to scale it, and notice if we GX to move it across, it's mirrored because it's part of the same object. So GZ to move it up, S to scale it. I'm going to have an out-of-body experience. I'm going to move the eyes out. I'm pressing G and X and G and Y, all of that, until we have the eyes roughly where we want them. Notice, irritatingly, they're shaded flat rather than shading smooth. And you've got to go out of edit mode into object mode by pressing Tab again and then right click to be able to undo that. I think that's a bit irritating. How do we change the color of part of an object? Because if we change the color now, it's going to affect everything that has that material. We need to make a new material slot. So that's the plus up here and then a new material. I always think it makes sense to label your materials, especially if you're going to end up exporting them into a game engine like Unity. So here we go, new word of the day, sclera is the white part of your eye. Shift D to duplicate. I'll duplicate it along the y-axis, S to scale, maybe GY to move it back in. It's always creepy if the pupil is dead center, so GZ maybe slightly off center. Let's try and add a new material, and this is going to be a pupil. Let's change the shade of that material. Notice changing it does not necessarily affect it on here. We've made a material, we haven't assigned it to any particular vertex or group of vertices until we press the assign button. That will mean all of the selected vertices have that selected material. There we go, boom. Next, we can do some modeling. So I'm going to select this face here and E to extrude it, maybe S to scale it, something like that. And now I've got this triangle bit here. I can E to extrude that and scale it up here, maybe GY or GX is what I'm looking for. Then I kind of want to move the eyes now. And it's hard to select them all, but this is my favorite keyboard shortcut of the day. You select one set of vertices and press Control L to select all of the linked vertices. Another top tip is if you press Z to go into wireframe mode, it's a lot easier to see edges and vertices and faces that you can't normally see. So I want something for the pupil, something for the sclera, Control L selects all the linked vertices. Press Z again, back to material preview. GZ to move up, GX to move out. Not bad. Right, what else is useful for box modelling? We already know that we can extrude with E, S to scale, or S and any particular direction. I pressed Y there, maybe GZ to move up, and then E to pull out an ear. And get that bit there to extrude it, cancel it with escape, scale it down, and E to just push it in a little bit. There we go, we've got an ear. I'm just showing the process of extruding and moving. Now I want a nose or a mouth. So last week I showed you a loop cut. That's Control and R. Control R means you can move your mouse over any edge, and an edge is a line between two vertices, and slice it. So I'm going to slice this, so I click on it. Then you can choose where the loop cut goes. I want it fairly central. And I'm going to do the same. Control R, slice that again. Why? Well, I'm going to press 3 again, which is getting your face mode selected. I'm going to pull out this bit here, E to extrude, so that I can get some teeth coming out of this bit. But I want individual teeth, not just one big blobby bit. So F3 on the keyboard, search for anything you don't know. F3 is brilliant because you can just search for anything in Blender, even if you don't know the keyboard shortcut. It looks like Control and E is the keyboard shortcut for subdivide. You can show the subdivide options to subdivide it a little bit more and have as many teeth as you want. I'm just going to pull out one little... Oh, no, not all of that. Control Z. Let's just get one of them selected. Control Z. There we go. E to extrude. That does not look like a tooth. That looks terrible, but never mind. I'll pull that out. These, shift and click to select multiple ones. Oops, that didn't work very well. And again, Control and L. No, that's no good because it selected all the linked vertices, which is the whole head. A twice to select all. Let's try again. That one. And shift click that one. Well, there is no one there because I've got a mirror modifier, so I'm not going to bother selecting it. Next really useful keyboard shortcut. This is Control and plus, but be careful to use Control and plus on the numpad, not on the main part of your keyboard. Control plus selects more. Brilliant. Control minus selects less. Control plus selects more. Really helpful way of selecting lots of linked vertices. I know that these aren't, strictly speaking, the sclera. It's only in an eye, but it's the same colour. So I'm going to reuse that. I've got some goofy teeth. Now I want a nose. So I'm going to get this bit, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude, and I've got a nose. Nice. How about this bit? I'll do the same. E to extrude, S to scale. Let's SZ to scale it in the Z axis. E to extrude to pull it out. Sometimes it's hard in the orientation that we're in. So let's grab it back. Oh gosh, a forked tongue. No, thank you. Control Z is undo. Now at this point I want a curvy tongue. So I'm going to rotate it. So you could do trial and error at this point. Just R by itself is going to be terrible. But RX is what I want, or RZ is not what I want, RY. I want to rotate around the X-axis. How do I know? Well, the red line is the X-axis, and I can see that at the top right of my screen. So RX, click, E to extrude again, RX, move my mouse, E to extrude again, and I've got a curvy tongue. Can you remember that awesome keyboard shortcut? It's Control plus on the numpad. And now I'm going to make a new material and double click to rename it Tongue. Who invented that spelling for the word tongue? There we go. So I know it's not the world's most realistic model, but it's low poly, and low poly looks cartoony and is fabulous for high performance gaming. The more vertices you have, the slower the frame rate in the game that you use it for. The only change I'm going to make is making the eyes bigger because I think that will look better. Notice, I can select it. If you're clicking on something and it won't select, it's a lot easier to go in wireframe mode with Z, and then you can Control L, go back to material preview, and let's just scale up the eyes so it looks, I think, quite nice and friendly. If I met this alien, I'd think it's not going to eat me, it's going to chase me around and at worst lick me. I think that's quite fun. So we've got until the end of Game Dev Club. That's 25 minutes to make the best alien face. Next week, we're going to do alien bodies. The week after that, we're going to rig them so that you can animate them. And then obviously after that, we're going to animate them to get a dancing alien or whatever you like. And after that, we can put it in a game with a walk cycle so your alien can move around and dance and do whatever you like in a game environment. All right, looking forward to seeing what you can create.